Jump up, feet on a table. Jump up, feet on a table.
And welcome back to Kings of Influence. I am one half of your hosting team, Ray William Johnson.
And 180 degrees across the table is me, Epic Lloyd, the other half of your hosting team. We are here every Wednesday at noon Pacific time on the Kings of Influence podcast. And if you'd like to get a message from us, letting you know when we are about to go live, you can text the word Kings to the number 43506. Once again, that's not Queens, the word Kings to the number 43506. We'll just send you one text to let you know when we're going on because we know it's a deep cesspool of content out there. And sometimes the good stuff gets mixed in with the bad, and we want to cut right through
I'm grateful to be part of that cesspool.
it.
Always.
Content cesspool.
Woo! All right, man. You said you went to a video game convention?
Oh yeah, I had a good week. We did an Epic Rap Battles of History show this past weekend in basically a suburb of Philadelphia, and Valley Forge, like in that area. Oaks, it's called Oaks. But we did this thing called Too Many Games, and it's like a convention, like a gaming convention. But we did a live show and did a signing the next day, and it was super cool. Met a bunch of people who listened to this podcast actually, which was
Oh,
really
no
nice.
way.
Yeah, we did like a meet and greet the day after the show, and a couple people came up. And so if you guys are out there listening now, appreciate you coming up, and all the
right.
fans for the rap battle show. It was cool. Like, we haven't done a live show in a while. I really love performing live, and we made a couple changes, put a bunch of new songs into the set, and people really reacted to the new shit that we did, which was
Hell yeah.
really, really satisfying for me because I don't want to be like, Leonard Skinner, and the only thing you can do is play Freebird, and then that's all people want to see.
Freebird's a good song, though.
It is. I know it is a good song. It is. That one's worthy. But it was gaming is the thing, man. It's gonna stay.
Gaming's gonna catch on.
Yeah.
Gaming might catch on. I don't know.
I don't play that many games, but there was like, you know what it felt like? It felt like a casino, like a poker tournament, because they were having tournaments and you could win like $2,500 if you won this thing.
Oh, they were like competing against each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there were guys there that were like, it was so hilarious because normally when you go to any kind of thing, the line for the bathroom for the girls is like out the door and you walk right in for the guys. But at the gaming convention, like, there's no line in the girls' bathroom and just a giant line out the dudes' bathroom because it's all guys.
You think they'd plan better for those bathrooms,
Yeah.
like for those events?
Yeah. Just like make the second bathroom like guys and girls or something.
Yeah, or bring in the porta potties or something, man.
Yeah, porta potties.
I know it's garbage.
They would probably have to put games on the doors of the porta potties, and then people would be in there like all day.
I mean, yeah.
Like,
What else are you gonna do?
Make it a game, like make it like one of those games at the carnival where you like squirt in the horse races, or like you squirt the water and the balloon like goes up faster, and whoever's balloon wins. They could do that with the porta potties where everybody pees at the same time.
Well, maybe so maybe the gamer goes in the porta potty, and then you throw like baseballs at that target, and if
Yeah.
it hits, he falls in.
But if he makes it out, something bad happens to you, so that you both have some skin in the game.
Ah, well, that's not as fun.
Yeah, not at all. No, but it was cool. It was great. Games, and there was also wrestling there, like WWE style wrestling, but like amateur wrestling. But what they did is they had the video game characters come out and wrestle each other, which was actually really fun.
Like Super Mario and Luigi, like that kind of thing.
But characters I've never even heard
Of course.
Like, there's so many video games out there. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not even. People make video game references to me all the time. I guess they think that I'm some kind of gamer or something.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't
Yeah.
play a lot ever.
It's and like anime characters, and it's a deep forest. We do like freestyle battles in the middle of the live show, and we'll always be like, who should we battle? And like I had to like pass by like 5 or 6 of them because I'm like, I don't know who that is. Like, I understand this is supposed to be a freestyle, and it will be, but you don't want me to not know anything about it. It's gonna be awful. So yeah, and then people also just get off on shouting the most obscure things possible because then they get a laugh.
Also, the more obscure, what people in the crowd don't realize, the more obscure the thing you're talking about, the fewer crowd members it pleases,
Yeah.
because people in the crowd also don't know.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go broad, I mean, that's my theory on why dumb shit like fart jokes work really well.
Yeah.
Because they'll translate to any language. Everyone gets it.
Yep.
But when you start making jokes about, Elizabeth Warren's chief of staff, it just goes right over people's head.
Yeah.
They don't know.
What is it? Playing at the top of your intelligence means knowing how not to go over the audience's head.
Yes.
It's like, play the room, dumbass. Like, don't be like getting your brain boner on and trying to be so smart, because good luck with that.
Yeah.
You know?
Fart into the microphone. That's what I always say.
Carrot Top has done just fine all these years.
So man, I was reading this thing and it like blew my mind because it's something that exists, but you never think about.
Okay.
So imagine all the content that gets uploaded to Facebook and to YouTube every hour, every minute.
Okay.
So Facebook in particular, and I pick on them because the article was about them, but I'm sure YouTube has it, I'm sure Snapchat has it, but basically they have what's called content moderators. So they hire people, and they've got about 15,000 of them. They hire people to watch the content that goes up, the content that's reported, videos and all that, to make sure that it doesn't violate any guidelines.
Right.
So that you're not uploading like beheading videos and porn and these things to their platform.
Imagine the things these people have seen.
Yeah. So basically I watched an expose interviewing these people, and they got to talk about what they had seen.
Oh wow.
And it blew my mind. I mean, to be honest, they're not like, they haven't seen anything that you probably couldn't guess.
Right.
It's just that they went into detail about it. And the interesting part was that some of these people are being diagnosed with PTSD.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Like, if you see some graphic stuff, you can't unsee it.
Not just see graphic stuff. They look at this stuff. I guess their shifts are 6 hours a day, 6 hours of content watching a day.
Yeah.
Solid. Like that's
getting
not counting their breaks or anything else. That is solid content watching, 6 hours.
Blasted with just wrecked videos and like people dying, and I imagine some of it is like not that intense, but there's got to be a lot of it that's just, I mean, I've been on 4chan. You know what I mean? Like you go on these threads, and there's just people who will post anything, just the most graphic, awful stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So they said they look at a lot of hate speech and a lot of graphic violence. But in these, I guess 400 posts a day that they look at on average, the thing that stood out to them, and I know this is going to be upsetting to you, because they see death every single day, but the abuse of animals.
Yeah.
Is the thing that they said really stays with them.
Yeah. That's like just torturing animals and things like that.
I can give you some examples.
Oh man.
One woman saw a puppy get hung, like by its neck.
And then someone thought that would be fun to post on Facebook.
Yeah. Pigs getting burned alive, toddlers getting choked, like child abuse stuff.
God. And are these people like? Can you like? There's video evidence of someone doing this. Can you like press charges? Like, can they take that and then use it?
Yeah, but when the video is of some kid in Uganda, what's going to happen?
Right.
All Facebook can do is take the video down and maybe report it if it's bad enough.
Right.
But at some point, you're like, who are we even reporting this to?
But what if it's in the United States?
In the United States, yeah, I would hope that they would take action, but I honestly don't know. I don't know if it's in the protocol of the 15,000 employees to take action and what taking action entails. Imagine how many reports they would send to the police every day. They said they saw death of some sort every day. Every day they'd see a death.
Like, what's the interview for that job like? Like, how do you tell somebody that? Like, what kind of a person walks in and goes, "Yeah, that sounds good for my $17.50 an hour." Like,
Yeah, they make about 30 grand a year
yeah, that's like garbage money for
for that.
yeah.
That's a respectable amount of money if that's what you need to live.
I'm just saying it's garbage money if it's damaging that. You know, like that's a high risk job. You should be getting paid more.
Well, if you're walking out with PTSD, you should definitely be getting.
And God, like that was non-existent 10 years ago. Maybe a little 12, like that type of job or that even type of thing.
Yeah.
Remember that VHS series Faces of Death?
Yeah. I never saw it, but I heard about it. I'm
Yeah.
not into death videos. And
No way. Like I can't. I've seen like guys break their arms, and I broke my knee and like dislocated arms and stuff like that. And I can't watch like football like injuries when they replay the football injuries. I cannot watch it. I physically like lurch away because I know I connect that with a feeling in my brain, and I can't not do it. And so much so that I would almost be on the side of being like, you shouldn't show this on TV. You shouldn't show somebody's like breaking bones on the television. That's almost like an assault on someone,
well, I'm surprised the sponsors allow it. I mean, I don't know I don't watch a lot of sports, so I don't know what
Well,
you're talking about. But
every football season, someone will break an ankle and they'll just, here's where his ankle breaks. Oh, right there. And they just show it. And I think they're doing it less and less now, but they like literally just replay it in slow motion of somebody's limb breaking
Ugh.
or, getting hit in the face with a foot or something. And it's like, I hate the word triggering, but that triggers me of like, I can't, it's like craziness. I can't imagine sitting there and watching that over and over and over again.
I'm with these guys in that the animal abuse would that would stay with me the longest. Some of the stuff they described that I didn't even describe
Yeah.
to you was brutal. I mean, I kind of glossed over it. They asked this guy like, "What's the first video you saw?" And it was like some kid in some Spanish-speaking country, a couple of kids, they picked up an iguana by the tail and just beat it against the ground, and the iguana was just screaming the whole time until it was no longer alive.
The sad thing is, like,
And he's like, and we took the video down, and it just goes right back up. You see it like days later.
cycle right
Yeah,
back
it just
up.
cycles right back in. You see it again. And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, and there's no repercussions for those kids. It's like the sad thing is like animals are so cruel to each other, but at least that's somehow natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Like,
that's why we have the term humane, because we're not like that, or we're not supposed to be.
right. Well, newsflash.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, these people are starting to speak out because they're coming up with PTSD after a certain period of time. They're not getting paid the money that they should be getting paid if they're ending up with PTSD, and apparently there's no conversation around mental health when they're going into this job or while they're at this job or anything like that, and there should be.
And it's about 15,000 people. You said
Yeah, they have 15,000
all over the world, or
for
just
Facebook, all over the world. For
yeah,
Facebook.
and
Now,
YouTube has
YouTube
it.
probably has theirs. Instagram has theirs. It might be separate from Facebook's. I don't know.
Right.
But
God.
now these are the sites that are trying to police this activity. Imagine the ones that aren't.
Right. Like, imagine what that would be like for like on a porn site. You know what I mean? Well, actually, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if porn sites are very diligent about that. A, because it's a $3 billion industry, and B, it would be much easier for people to turn on the porn industry and shut it down, so they have like almost more to lose. But like, imagine the things that you might see on that, just like violent sexual acts and things, or even just random violent content uploaded to a porn site because it was a porn site and you thought maybe that's where it could go and live. Like, oy, oy, oy.
Well, I imagine it wouldn't have. I imagine it wouldn't have a ton of traction on porn sites just because you're like, hey man, I tried to search for, puppy gets destroyed, and I got a dude dressed like a puppy getting leather whipped by a woman.
Gently pegged.
Yeah, it never comes up.
Oy. It's a dark world out there, man. It's terrible. Did Facebook, are they going to respond to it? Are they?
They should. This just came out. I mean, they should. They will have to, because it's like the stories are too shocking.
Yeah.
When you and to me, it wasn't even. It was the report was by The Verge, and I think some other people picked it up, and they were trying to make commentary about Facebook, which everyone picks on the Facebook platform now,
Yeah.
but it's not just Facebook. I can't emphasize that enough. It's
No.
100% all of them. And to me, it was more of a commentary on humanity of us as people.
Yeah.
I didn't sit there and go, "Oh, Facebook is terrible." I sat there and thought, "Well, Facebook's methods might be insufficient, but human beings are awful."
Yeah, I agree. Like, at least Facebook's trying to police it somehow, and again, probably all the sites are doing that. But the fact that that has to happen is terrible. That's one job that I would be psyched to get automated. I'm sure you could.
That's what they're trying to do.
I'm sure you can identify violent acts fairly simply. You know what I mean? If something's screaming and getting smashed against a wall, like odds are there's foul play on the video.
Yeah.
I imagine it's probably very difficult to discern between fiction, like someone making a violent comic book video, or like
Mhm.
a kung fu film or something, and actual violence. Like for a robot, that would be very difficult, I bet, to discern.
Yeah, they're in the process of developing AI for it, so it'll be better. I know they have porn detecting AI, but to me that would be easier
Yeah, if something's
because
going
you're like,
inside of a hole,
there's too much flesh tone in one area of the video. It's probably some dude's ass.
yeah, right. And for honestly, it's like that would be lower on my priority list.
Yeah.
Like, God forbid somebody sees someone getting a blowjob. That's to me way less harmful than watching somebody get their head blown off or something.
Well, I've never seen a blowjob and have it stay with me
Yeah.
after. It's like I forget that stuff pretty quick. But if I saw a human abusing an animal or even another human, it might stick with me.
You get BJSD.
BJs. Hello,
Heyo.
man. Yeah. So, wanted to start the podcast off right.
Nice high note there.
Yeah, no kidding.
It is sort of gloomy here in Los Angeles these last couple days. It's been sort of June gloom, so it's nice and gray, which I kind of like, actually.
You're into that gray,
I like that.
northeast weather.
I do. Then if I'm in a shit mood, I don't feel so bad.
So, there was this story about, you've heard of this place Cracker Barrel? I don't know if they have
Yeah.
them. Yeah,
Yeah, not to be confused with Crate and Barrel.
right, exactly. I bought some furniture from Crate and Barrel one time, and my brother would always call it Cracker. Well, this stuff you got from Cracker Barrel. I'm like, I didn't get a couch from Cracker Barrel, dude. It's not a thing. It's like made of cheddar. What do you? So, yeah, I didn't know if they had Cracker Barrel on the coasts or whatever, but they definitely have it back home in Oklahoma.
Yeah, Midwest, like country cooking, kind of like down home. A lot of like wooden apple barrels on the outside, wicker.
I think it's one
rocking
of those
chairs
places
and
where you
stuff.
eat the peanut shells and throw it on the floor, or is that a different place?
If it's not the same place, they're cousins.
It should be.
Yeah.
It should be. That's that. Cracker Barrel's the place you go when the peanut shell on the floor place is full.
Yeah.
So in Tennessee, there was an anti-gay pastor, and he tried to hold an event at Cracker Barrel. I guess you can like rent out one of the rooms or whatever in some of these places. And Cracker Barrel found out who he was, and they canceled the event.
Yeah, boy.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Canceled. Like they canceled it on him, and they put out a statement and said they have zero tolerance policy for discrimination of any sort. Now, this guy, he wasn't just someone who sort of talks shit about homosexuality, being a pastor and all that. He advocated, where is it? Where are my notes? Oh, he said the government should execute LGBT people.
And this guy's a pastor with okay.
So not only is this guy a pastor, he is a deputy.
Oh man.
He's a detective at the Knoxtown, Tennessee Sheriff's Office. So he's a pastor and a detective. And he was quoted as saying he advocates for arresting, trying, sentencing, and executing gay people.
Damn.
And this guy's a detective.
How did he not lose his job over this? How can you?
He should.
How can you openly be like that and then be expected not to let that influence you? What if he has to investigate a gay couple?
He might lose his job now. This is all just sort of coming out.
Was he like a wizard clan guy, some sort of purple dragon or something?
I feel like that would have been a step up from this dude.
Right. I've never been so in support of chicken fried steak in my life. Like, go Cracker Barrel. Good for them. Like, hell yeah. No, We love our gays at the Cracker Barrel. Come on in for a Chinese chicken salad or something. That's amazing.
Yeah, I apparently he's like not allowed on the property anymore, and the entire church isn't allowed to hold an event there, even without him. And they really put their foot down. And I feel like, oh, someone in the comments saying he got fired, so they must have looked it up.
Good.
Yeah, I hope that's true. So I feel like some of these, we're living in the age of woke corporations, and some of them are like putting their foot down a little bit
Hell
when
yeah.
it counts, and I think that's a good sign.
And that to me is nice because that particular company, I wouldn't, not that I would expect them to do nothing, but I wouldn't expect that from them. That's like a nice, refreshing surprise. Like you think about Cracker Barrel, and it's like sort of a wholesome, classic, traditional family restaurant, and it just goes to show you that like that, even that perspective is moving over.
Well, and
know?
it's in Tennessee. It's not just a Cracker Barrel,
Right.
but it's in Knoxtown, Tennessee.
Knoxtown, Tennessee. Well, where I wonder who owns Cracker Barrel and what, because that's a giant chain. It's not a
The crackers,
I know,
bunch of crackers.
It's
on it.
perfect that it's called Cracker Barrel because there's no crackers in it. The food is all right. The but I wonder who owns that company because it's not a franchise. I believe it's like a chain, right?
Yeah,
So
big chain.
a franchise would be different. I wonder who. That's where we miss Katie. That's what
Yeah,
I would want to
Katie.
know.
Yeah,
Katie.
Katie's out of town.
Somebody in the
Otherwise,
comments.
she'd be here. I'd be like, Katie, who owns Cracker Barrel?
Yeah, somebody in the comments tell us who owns Cracker
The,
Barrel.
the crackers.
I know. Oh, them crackers.
Oh, damn crackers.
Yeah.
I can get on board with a woke franchise
Hell yeah.
doing this kind of thing.
It's a hell of a lot better than like what's the opposite, ChickfilA, who like the owner doesn't approve and like didn't want to serve gay people for a long time, and then
I feel like the owner of ChickfilA probably wouldn't take this step, but I don't
no,
know. Maybe I'm being too harsh on him. That was to Chick-fil-A's credit, that was like a decade ago when they started getting shit
yeah,
for being anti-gay. So maybe they've changed their stance now, as like most of the country has.
and a lot. Funny enough, a lot of the gay people I know that I talk about that with are like, yeah, that sucks, but I love me some Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I know,
Still
right?
go there.
I know. Chick-fil-A
I
is
never
good,
have
though.
been to Chick-fil-A. They're just gonna open one right on the corner down around from my house, so maybe we'll go over there, but not on a Sunday. They're not open on Sunday.
Right.
How the hell?
Because it's the Lord's Day.
I mean, that's impressive. They can stay open. That's like 1/7 of your business.
Yeah.
Dang.
So Max said the Ritz company owns Cracker Barrel.
Boo.
Naturally,
That was fun.
crackers stick together.
Okay, that's crazy, man. I wish they had done something like more practical, jokey in the moment where they shut it down like in the middle of the thing, or like made it super awkward, or had like a pride parade in the middle of it.
Right. In the next room over.
On that topic, just props to my dad and my brother. They went to the St. Pete Pride Parade down in Florida, and my dad was wearing a free dad hugs t-shirt and was just hugging people in the Pride Parade whose fathers were like shitty to them for being homosexual. So I was pretty proud of my dad for that. It was pretty cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So it said free dad hugs, and people would just come up and be like, "Is this serious?"
Yeah. I think I've seen things like that before, like free mom hugs and stuff like that, where it's just like people who grew up gay, oftentimes their parents weren't into it, and so it's just like a sign of support to be like, yeah, I'm a dad, I'll hug you. Pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like
So,
free bro hugs or something.
Yeah, free
Could
bro
I,
hugs. Just
Could
free
I do that?
free hugs all around. So props to my dad. I don't even know if he's
Yeah.
listening, but whatever. Chick-fil-A is so good though. Yeah, people say it is.
I'm definitely into Chick-fil-A. I don't eat it that often because it's fast food, and I try to stay away from that stuff. But damn,
What's good about? I've never ever had it.
never
Is it
had
good?
Chick-fil-A?
No,
I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It just tastes good.
tastes good.
It's savory in my mouth. Like it's like a flavor of explosion right there in this orifice, and it's good.
Like a Starburst.
Sure.
Mm.
Something they do chicken a certain way. It's good.
I read an article yesterday, and it may have been true, but may not have been true. But it was funny enough to worth mentioning, where a city in Germany shut down a Nazi, like a pro-Nazi rally was going to happen in this town, and for some reason the town couldn't legally shut it down. Like if you have like a parade you want to have, you're supposed to be able to have parade. But what they did was remove all the beer from the town.
Nice.
So it was completely dry. They're like, yeah, okay, have your party. No booze, buddy. None for you.
See, I was told That's interesting because I was always told that you can't do the Nazi thing in Germany.
Yeah.
And nowadays, like
Yeah.
that they'll shut it down real quick. Like here, you could do it because we have like certain freedom of speech laws and everything, and they do too. But and I'm not well versed on my German, legal issues.
Yeah.
But I was under the impression that when it comes to Nazi and Nazi paraphernalia and that kind of stuff, that they have pretty much no tolerance. They're Nazis about it.
Yeah.
They have like no tolerance
Super
for
Nazi about their
it.
anti-Nazism.
Yeah, what's up
Very-
with that? But
Yeah.
that might just be bullshit I heard.
It might have been clickbait, but it was a funny thought. There was a KKK parade in my town when I was in high school.
Wow.
Yeah. In Exeter, New Hampshire. There was like 2 towns over. There was this town called Epping. And apparently, like, the local grand wizard for the freaking, I don't know, county of KKK was living there. And they did a parade down the middle of our street in Exeter. And it
Whew.
was intense. It was intense. And my dad, like, got all up in one of their faces and shit.
Of course
like,
he did.
and like
Huh.
Exeter, New Hampshire is like not a lot of like mostly white people. You know what I mean? Like more diverse now than then, but like it was not. It was a awkward, tense, awful thing. I couldn't believe they like. Yeah, all these guys had their masks on. I was like,
Oh my god.
if they take their masks off, these guys are screwed. Because
Well-
then you know who they are.
Well, I went to where was it? Chattanooga, Tennessee,
Mm.
and did a stand-up show, and I had 2 shows one night, and one show did really well, and the other show did fine, but it sold significantly less tickets, and so and it was weird. It was the whole mood of all of it, of both shows, was very like I don't want to say laid back, but almost very like dark, very no one wanted to laugh. It was
Huh.
like
Somber.
yeah, it was weird. And so I was doing the meet and greet afterwards, and I asked some of the people, I said, what's, I had a really good show, and then I had a show where not a lot of people showed up for some reason. Usually it's like everyone will go to both shows, or it's a dead town and no one will go to anything. And even the show that people did come to, it was kind of somber, and they were like, well, and this was last year, right after Charlottesville. Right after Charlottesville.
Oh.
So they were like, there is a white nationalist rally going on right now,
Ugh.
and there's also a counter white nationalist rally going on at the same time.
And we're all here at this comedy club.
Yeah, we're all this comedy club trying to laugh.
Wow. And you
That's what they told me. I don't know how big it was or anything like that, but I remember it definitely affected the mood.
Yeah, I mean it is so easy to turn a mood, and even if it's they're not mad at you, it could just be a room is just cold. You know what's going on. Jeez,
Yeah.
that's craziness.
Nuts.
Chattanooga.
I believe it was Chattanooga.
I believe it was Chattanooga.
Back in my Chattanooga days.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know if you read this article this week about these young adults. Okay, there was one study done, right? And they looked at like, I don't know, 1,200 people or 1,500 people or whatever, and they found that 41% of people 18 to 30 were starting to grow like a little horn in the back of their skull, right where it
What?
meets their neck, grow down. And
I don't have one.
and what they were saying, well,
Not yet.
yeah. So what they were saying, and it's just longer than normal. It's like a bony lump. They call it a horn, but it's not like a horn. That it's from prolonged bad posture from looking down at your
and
phones
shit. Yeah.
for all day.
We're gonna grow horns, and then like little birds are gonna land on there, and that's gonna be how we talk. We'll just like use the bird to send it to somebody else, and that'll be a tweet.
Yeah, I never would have thought we would grow.
God.
And this phenomenon has only been observed in the past 10 years.
And is it global?
I don't think they studied people from all over the globe.
We're gonna
It
have
was a small study.
we're gonna have horns on the back of our head like a rat tail.
Yeah, I think so.
I will tell you this, man. At that gaming convention, it was a lot of fun, but there were a lot of unhealthy looking people there. And all the love goes out to all of y'all. But like sitting in front of a video game screen all day doesn't do a lot for your body and your health,
Grow horns.
And yeah, I guess you can grow horns, but just being sedentary, and then couple that with if maybe if you're a little bit antisocial or if you have some anxiety, and then you you are constantly using games and video games to, avoid going out into the real world. I can see that starting to have some long term, and then you have children, and then they have children. I can see that starting to have long term effect on our physiology.
Yeah, I can see it like they grow long, and then like maybe guys start fetishizing them. Like, man, did you see the bone on her?
Oh,
Like,
that
yo,
bone.
she got that. Oh, damn. You know what I'm saying? And like women, like maybe they'll paint theirs or something,
Dude, someone's
or like
got
tie a ribbon around it.
yeah. Someone wants to have sex with it already.
Yeah.
Already, someone there's already a category on Pornhub.
I can see myself putting a bow tie on mine, like for a formal occasion.
Was there any like feeling in the bone? Was it just a protruding?
I think it was just like a protrusion, like they measured it, and it was whatever millimeters long or longer than average or something like that. Probably nothing you could see with the naked eye.
Right. Well, I know some people have
Maybe.
some people their tailbones protrude like kind of far, and like they have almost like a little tail.
Like George Costanza on Shallow Hal. You have like a little tail.
I think that's real. Like there
Yeah,
are
that's a
people with
thing.
those things.
That's a thing.
And I know that humans have evolved. Like the average height of a human has gotten bigger over the last 100, 200 years.
I know.
And that could be just
Shitty.
from breeding. I know, right?
Yeah.
But like we are changing in the way that we look for sure. Now, whether or not we're gonna have horns at the end of the day, that's a different story.
Madman says he thought it was normal. It's about the width of a thumb.
His tail.
I don't know if he's talking about his or the ones that were in the study.
Is it his tail? Call the number.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's nuts, man.
I know. I'm like checking the back of my head. Am I getting one?
I don't have one. I definitely.
I got to start looking up more often.
Don't have. I know. I try to look up as often as I can.
I like when I poop. I gotta
just
like look up like that.
do it the other way. Take a little yoga class.
Yeah, exactly, man. Woo, that's scary.
Horns coming out of people's heads, and that's not even like a cool horn. Like not even like
That's like a satanic horn.
Yeah, and you can't even see your own horn.
Madman says it's his. His is like the width of a thumb. Yeah.
Jeez.
Like a little lump back there. You're growing the horn, Madman.
Dude, look up, man. You gotta stretch.
Oof.
Stretch. Gosh.
So I got a little something for us.
Alrighty.
Stoner.
All right.
Yeah. So guys, you know what time it is? Time we play Stoner Thoughts. This is basically shower thoughts, some interesting quotes we pull off the internet and we react to them. You can play along at home, reacting at your leisure, or adding some to the chat if you want. All right, here we go.
Stoner Thoughts.
If someday human teleportation becomes real, people will still be late for work.
Truth.
Yes.
Truth.
Lazy bastards.
You know what gets me?
What's
it's like,
that?
don't be late, but fucking don't be late with coffee.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, oh, where were you? Like fresh hot coffee. Like you made everybody here
Right.
late because you were at Starbucks.
Oh, wife's in labor. No, buddy.
No, buddy.
Mm-mm.
Did you bring enough for everybody? Then no.
Son of a... Yeah, that's pretty disrespectful.
God, I hope teleportation.
Stoner
Me too.
Thoughts.
We believe what a 7-year-old wants to do when they grow up, but we don't believe when a 23-year-old doesn't want kids. Think about that.
What?
So when a kid's like 7 years old and he tells you, yeah, I want to be this when I grow up, we
Yeah.
believe him. We're like, yeah, you can be anything you want. But when an adult says, you know what, I don't want kids,
Yeah.
people go, you'll change your mind.
You'll change your mind.
Or when an adult says, yeah, I don't ever want to get married, like, you'll grow out of it. You'll
Yeah.
change your mind.
Yeah. I did go through a small amount of that. No one says shit to me anymore because I'm too old at this point. They're like, yeah, you probably shouldn't have kids. You don't have enough energy.
They don't want you to have kids.
Yeah,
That's
they
what it
stop
is.
saying it. Or like someone will be like, "Are you guys gonna have kids?" And I'll just be like, "We can't." Like something. Just like any of 30 responses that make them feel horrible for asking.
Nice.
Enough of us. There are enough of us in
That's
this
right.
world.
That's right. We're a growing number.
It's a virus.
Adults with no kids.
Stoner Thoughts.
The first humans who ate crabs must have been really hungry to try and eat an armored sea spider.
All that shit.
Yeah.
First guy to eat a lobster.
Lobster look like a cockroach, dude. Like a big ass red cockroach.
They're almost identical genetically to a cockroach. I knew that. I know that because I grew up in New Hampshire, which is right next to Maine, which is like the lobster capital of the world, and you go on these little tours.
Yeah.
Lobster used to be food they gave to like the servants and the peasants. It was just like it was shit food, and somehow it became this delicacy when people came to America. It was like, ooh, we get to eat this stuff now, and now everybody loves lobster. But it's basically a sea bug.
Well, I've had cockroach dripped in drawn butter, and I can tell you they are nothing alike.
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
Stoner Thoughts.
Everyone is scared that if they had traveled back in time, they could do something very small that would change their whole life. But no one thinks about that doing something very small in the present will have a huge impact on the future.
Yeah, right.
That's a deep one.
Like put your seatbelt on.
That's a deep one.
Yeah. Every little tiny thing you do could be,
The butterfly effect.
yeah, 1,000 different happenings all at the same time.
Yes. So live your life.
Live
kids.
your life.
Live your life, kids.
Vive la loca. No, vi sois de vivre. Sweet.
What?
What is that word? It's like Latin. Carpe diem.
Carpe diem.
Seize
Yeah,
the
yeah.
day. Carpet diem. That would be the name of my
I
carpet.
was just
store.
laughing like you like struggling through it was funny.
I know.
Stoner Thoughts.
When it comes to hot food, there are two types of people. Either you blow your food until it cools down, or you just go hot, until you can chew it.
The reverse blow. The
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely the latter. I'm like, okay, it's good.
yeah.
And then I eat it.
I just burn my tongue and then you can't taste anything.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Burn it. Or there's like that. I can't do spicy food that much. My tolerance is slowly growing as I get older, but like that pain from spicy food is unescapable. You can't get away from, even if you drink milk or something, it's still
Yeah, it follows you
Ugh,
around all day.
God. And have you ever seen that show Hot Ones, that like interview show where they eat progressively hotter, spicier wings?
I haven't, but you told me about it.
Well, the host of it is the same every week. And so this guy eats these crazy hot wings every week. And I'm just like, the poops that guy must poop must be, I mean, not to go there, but like
Yeah.
every week this guy's eating like the spicy. And then they put like the Scoville level of these wings, which is like the heat. And you're like, God, this guy's guts. Like, this is probably not going to be good for him.
9
the rest of his
ulcers and
life.
shit.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy.
It's amazing.
Stoner Thoughts.
The real walk of shame is going back to your friends after bowling a gutter ball.
Oh, I just bowled last night.
Did you bowl a gutter ball?
I at least once.
Yeah,
At least
it's
once.
pretty shameful.
It is a pretty awful walk of shame. You know what I love is that like the lean when you try to make the ball go your way by
Yeah.
leaning, like come on.
Was your wife there?
Yeah,
Oh, super shameful.
yeah. So shameful.
That's why I don't bowl.
Oh, that or like I've seen people do like a victory dance and then like eat it because the ground is so slick. You know,
Yeah.
like they fall on their ass and hurt themselves.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, bowling and falling as you bowl, that's a thing.
Yeah,
That's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Stoner Thoughts.
Laughing is so weird. You just stare at the other person with your mouth wide open, making ridiculous sounds, and sometimes you can't stop. Yeah, it's creepy, huh?
You ever hear yourself like you ever be in a video or somehow you got some social media or something and somehow like a fake laugh of yours gets captured and then you listen to it? I'm like, that's so uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's so fake.
Ugh.
Like, oh, that's not my laugh.
I know. Why am I doing that?
Do people believe that laugh?
Why am I trying to make this person feel good about their joke? Just no one thinks it's funny. Ew. The fake laugh. Ha 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 ha. Or just that's funny.
Yeah.
Those people.
Oh, that's good.
That's funny.
That's
man.
hilarious.
That's the life of a comic. They never laugh at your jokes. They just say that's funny.
Because they've heard everything.
Yeah. And they're dark souled
They're-
goblins.
They're dicks. A lot of comics are dicks.
Mhm.
That's a thing. They do that thing where they so you guys, I don't know if you unless you've hung out with a lot of stand-up comedians, you wouldn't know this. But a lot of stand-up comedians a lot of them are great and a lot of them are total dicks.
Yeah.
And it's like a defense mechanism thing. And they do this thing where they like spar with other comedians, which means they'll just trade insults.
Yeah.
And if you're that kind of comedian, first of all, back in the day, everyone used to be that kind of comedian. That's
Yeah. Busting each other's balls.
yeah, you bust each other's balls. That's the thing. But nowadays, you have all kinds of different comedians.
Yeah.
All kinds with the invention of the internet and like movie stars who like, oh, I want to try stand up, and they'll go and do stand up
Yeah.
or whatever. So like, if you walk into that environment, of everyone starts insulting you and you're not with that or you're not a part of that or whatever,
Yeah.
you're immediately turned off by it. You're immediately like, I don't know, I just walked in to say hi and these people started fucking ragging on me. And some of it was funny and some of it was mean.
Yeah.
Some of it was like, dude, I didn't even get my name out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think just like, it's like almost like putting you through the ringer, like some sort of trial by insult thing.
Yeah.
The other thing too is just being completely ignored. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
It's like a sizing you up type of thing of like, you don't present any value to me. You can't give me anything. Therefore, I will not talk to you.
Well, you're right. And then there's some like there's this weird air of, especially the guys that have been there a really long time,
Yeah.
where they're like, well, we don't think she's funny, so she's not funny.
Right.
And
she'll go up-
my response is like, it doesn't give a fuck what you think.
Right.
It's what the audience think. If the audience is laughing, if she found an audience, then
yeah.
they think she's funny.
Yeah.
That's you don't get to make that call. She's
No.
not funny to you, but like, so
And
what?
She's hacked to you, but she's doing the audience. That's what the audience wants. Or
Yeah, exactly.
a lot of, I will say, like, I think that stand up has changed a little bit in the last couple years. Like, people are much nicer now.
Mhm.
I feel like, at least from my standpoint, like, because there's no upside to being shitty. And it could be LA too. Like, I haven't been like, for all intents and purposes, New York is the stand up capital of the country.
Yeah.
And comics will be the first to say that. And I don't know what the scene is like there. I think it might be a little bit more less inclusive, if that makes sense.
In New
Like,
York?
yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit more like, hey man, you can't just walk in here. You have to earn your
Right.
stripes
It's a
here.
boys club.
Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah.
And out here, and especially at my club, it's much more like just everybody loves anybody. Because LA, you never know, that person who's on the open mic could be like the casting director for the biggest comedy show on
Yeah.
television, and they're just trying out a set today, and you treated them like a dick, and the next thing you know, you walk into a room with them at your pitch, and you're like, oh hi.
But that's changed in the past 10 years.
yeah,
All that's changed. I mean, according to my experience and other people I've talked to, and then I heard last year I heard Joe Rogan talking about it on a podcast of how stand-up's gotten way more inclusive, and it used to be. I mean, it was very judgy. It was very much a boys' club. Like, we don't think you're funny, and we're going to insult you. And Jessica Lynn in the chat said, I bet your mama jokes got real. Which I wouldn't characterize it like that, Jessica. Like when the stand-up comics are sort of insulting each other and they're insulting new people who come in. If it were your mama jokes, it would be interesting and entertaining.
yeah, easier to identify
Yeah.
as a joke.
It's like when I say insults, it's like insults. It's not the joking.
Yeah,
Like if your mom just died, they're gonna let you have it about that.
yeah, and even like the thing that would get me would be going on stage and then shitting on the club as a part of your act.
Yeah.
To try to get or shitting on the fact that the audience is small, like insulting the people that came about the people who didn't come. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I think those are just like nervous beginner moves. But as the guy who owned the club, sometimes you would watch, specifically when it was like shitting on the club itself. You're like, man, it's hard to like you now. It's hard to want to bring you back.
Well, some of those guys, that's the only move they know is
Yeah.
they're just gonna trash everything. It's
Yeah.
like they're trying to be Bill Burr, but they're not good at it.
Yeah.
Whereas Bill Burr can still do all that and be likable, and he's kidding, even
Yeah.
though I'm sure he's not for everyone.
Yeah.
You get that vibe that he's not necessarily a prick.
Yeah.
Although I have no idea how he is off stage, but some of these new guys just can't do it.
I mean, that's the path of the comedian is just fail.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the things that makes them a pricklier bunch is that you're up there by yourself. And even if you have friends to do notes with at the end of the day, you go like we've had shows where I've come off and been like, oh, I didn't like that. I hated that. And
Yeah.
you just like wrestle with it all night. And, if you're lucky, you get another open mic that night you can hustle over to and try to wash that last set off of you. But it's not easy.
Well, I gotta say, I don't want to be in that environment.
Yeah.
The shitty one that I'm describing, the one that's more sort of from 10 years ago
Yeah.
of the asshole comics. Like I don't.
No, not unless you're on the upside of it.
Well, yeah, but I'm just not like that. Like I don't feel good putting people
Yeah.
down. So I would even if I'm okay with them just putting me down, like it's just what they do. Like I don't want to give it back. I don't want to trash people.
Yeah.
That's not fun. That's not funny to me necessarily.
No. It's funny too because it's the polar opposite of improv comedy.
Right.
Improv comedy is like by nature inclusive, by nature therapeutic, by nature like cohesive, and if the two exist in the same club, you'll have like a holiday party, and you'll see certain stand-ups there and certain comics there, but like statistically, based on the number of people there, it's way more improv community people just because that's their community. That's
Yeah.
what it really is.
Improv. Yeah, no, improv people stick together.
It's like improv people are dogs and stand-up people are cats.
Ah, but I like cats.
Yeah.
So, we got a call. We'll do this call really quick. This is from Sabrina, 23.
Okay.
See what you got to say.
Hi, this is Sabrina, aka Super Bubbles. I'm from New York City and I'm 22 years old. And my question was, so since I'm this week marrying the love of my life, and I've only ever had sex with him, a lot of people think that I'll regret it or think that I should have more experience before settling down, even though I am very happy with my sex life and very happy with the person I chose to marry. I just want to know what you guys think, like what's people's hang-ups with only having sex with one person, and what should I say when people tell me that they believe that I'm going to regret it. Love the podcast. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
All right, Sabrina. This is
Sabrina.
it's pretty straightforward one for me.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Well, she sounds like a very level-headed lady, which is nice.
Yeah.
You know, that always helps. I feel like she's getting married in like a week, right?
I don't know if
Something
it's
like
in
that?
like a week, but she's getting married. Sounds like she's pretty soon.
Yeah.
She's engaged.
Listen,
Did she say a week? I don't know.
she says, yeah, pretty.
All right,
Sex is important, has a different level of importance to different people. If you are a person who's super interested in sex and you want to have sex with a lot of different people, then do that. Doesn't sound like that's that important to her. She's happy
Right.
with her sex life. She's happy with the person she's chosen to marry. If she wanted to experiment having sex with different people, who knows? Maybe that's something you talk about with your husband when you're married 20 years or whatever. But I do think it's kind of rude for people to make open blanket comments like that, especially when you know the person's about to get engaged or
Yeah.
about to get married. Like, it's kind of a crappy thing.
I totally agree that whoever's putting the ideas in your head, those ideas in your head, Sabrina, are I don't want to call them garbage human beings because you might be close to them, but come on, like if someone's about to get married, you don't need to be putting doubt in their head
Right.
like that over something, that is potentially superficial. And frankly, if you're Sabrina, if you're not curious about that and you're happy with what's going on, then stick with it.
Yeah. I definitely have been the person who's like, hey, me and my girlfriend are on the rocks and I'm about to go on tour. Should we try to stick it out? Or I'm like, break up, go sow your wild oats and stuff, and I do think that having multiple partners makes you a better lover on some level because you have experience and stuff, but it's everybody's choice. It's like your choice. And if that's the choice you're making, then I think you need to feel confident with it, And I would just say be open to always. It is going to present you with certain challenges that other people won't have. I think just try to do your best to keep things fresh, keep things curious, try new stuff, be really open with your partner about sex because that's the person you're choosing to do it with the rest of your life.
Yeah. I agree. Now, if you are, I think you already covered this, but if you are the kind of person who's curious about other partners, then yeah, this is going to haunt you at some point.
Yeah.
Getting married to one guy, it'll come back.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't sound like you are, sounds like you're like, I'm good. Like, I'll put it this way. There are other planets out in the universe. Some of them could be great. Some of them could be a total paradise, just like a meadow of boobs that I could just roll around in.
Meadow of boobs.
Just boobs everywhere. And of all shapes and sizes, and it could be a total paradise. But I'm happy on Earth. And Earth's the only planet I've lived on, but it's fine. And I'm going to stay here.
Yeah. That's a great analogy. I also like the image of a meadow of boobs.
Yeah, meadow, because I'm doing like the Sound of Music thing in it.
Yeah, different sizes are different lengths of grass. You
Right.
have like A cup shallows and like D cup long grass.
And then there's like, it's a meadow, so there's probably like bees.
Yeah.
At some, they're I don't know.
Honey boobs?
Yeah, well, they're boobies.
Honey bunches of boobs.
Honey bunches of boobs.
And then to your question of how should you respond to people when they say that to you? Um, that sounds honestly, that kind of sounds like something a family member would say,
Yeah.
like a cousin or like someone who's like, able to rib you and stuff.
Someone who
And
doesn't know what they're talking about and who's probably terrible at sex anyway.
yeah, maybe. I think you just need to be like, yo, this is my choice. Like, you go sleep around. Like,
Right. Yeah, that's true.
you go sleep around and have your, have your day on fun. But I'm doing my thing. Like, you're not trying to sleep with me, are you? So, what do you want? I think there's a million ways. I wouldn't let it bother you too much, I guess, is my point, because sometimes that stuff can become toxic
Yeah.
and it can get in the way of you and the actual person you're in a relationship with, when it really is just somebody else's bullshit in your own mind, like kind of polluting your thoughts about it. So I just wouldn't let it bother you too much. It's okay if people have their opinions, but stick to your guns.
Yeah, and if there is like better sex out there for you, a better partner, I can almost guarantee you, only marginally better,
Yeah.
only a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like the likelihood that you're gonna find some champion who is uh, this amazing like trophy winner athlete in bed, and also be all of the things that your current partner are to you that make you want to marry him. The likelihood is just not that high.
Yeah.
So if you do go, like I promise you, if you just went and like had sex with 3 different dudes right now to test it out, you'd be like, oh yeah, that was either worse or the same or just like marginally better.
Yeah.
Eh.
Yeah. Good luck. Congratulations.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't spend too much money on the napkins. The wedding napkins, you don't need them. Save it for the honeymoon. That's my wedding advice.
She's 23. Someone else paying for the wedding.
Hopefully. It's pretty early to get married, by the way.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, but I didn't want to. I don't want
I
to
know.
throw that in the mix because that's not what she was
That's
asking.
the exact same thing that I'm that guy now. Oh, you should be not getting married. You're too young.
Yeah, she's not asking
And
about
she's from
that.
New York
She's,
City too, so it's not like she's
Yeah.
in the middle of the country.
Well, she's already. I mean, the thing, she's already getting married. So
Yeah.
So us saying that isn't going to help.
If you guys have questions about life, love, sex, relationships, money, the entertainment business, we are here for you to give you 2 white male perspectives.
Call, leave a message, 321-222-3179, 321-222-3179.
We've put it in the comments in some of the past
Videos. Yeah, it's also in
videos.
the description.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Always same number. But other than that, man, that's our whole show. That was
That's our
everything.
show. We did good.
Yeah.
We did a great
We
job.
did a good. We did a good job.
We did a good job.
We did a good. All right, let's log off and go to the chat. Guys, stick around for the chat.
Okay, thanks guys.
Love you. Only 52 minutes.
Jump up, feet on a table.
Hey.
Hey, here we are. What's up, guys?
What's going on? 1 in 4 people have herpes. Is that true? Mouth herpes?
I mean, there's probably all kinds of herpes.
Yeah.
Her friend planting seeds of doubt is a scumbag. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
64-bit.
Intentionally or unintentionally. Like honestly, that does sound like something like your aunt or your mom would say or something like that. You
Yeah.
know, like that's hard to call them a scumbag when they're so closely related to you.
But you know, they're not looking out for you. They think they are, but they're not.
Well, what would you do if you saw somebody engaged? And this is not to say that this is Sabrina's case, but if you saw somebody engaged and you were like, this is not good. Like you know what I mean? Like maybe your brother, he's engaged to a woman or a guy, and like you either know something about the guy or you just can see that they don't treat each other well. Do you say something?
I can see that they don't treat each other well. So if it's mutual, like, look, if there is information my brother doesn't know, I would probably reveal that to him.
Sure.
If there is information that they both know, like if they both treat each other like shit and it's not going to work out, I'm just like, well, have fun, knock yourself out. I'm not going to give you any information you don't already know. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think I'm on the same side as that. I think I would try to have a really long conversation with my brother and be like, you really need to think about what you're about to do right here. And like, A, waste a lot of time and money and energy. And then B, you could potentially have a family with this person. It's tough. Oh, here, Bear Brad says, I'm my wife's only partner ever married happily 10 years, married at 19. Good for you guys.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Bear Brad. Nice. Sally, but what if I'm super insecure and how to fix that? Oh, I missed something.
How do you fix security? Sally wants to know how she fixes insecurity.
No, it looks like she had a question earlier in the chat that was up.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah, not how to fix insecurity. I think friends, taking your life by the balls, setting goals, small, achievable goals,
Yep.
accomplishing them.
Therapy,
Therapy is good if you can afford it.
affirmations.
Yeah, like
I am a badass. I am a
I
badass.
am meditation.
I am a badass.
With the horn thing, it doesn't hurt or anything, and you don't realize it's there until you touch it. Also, it's potentially good for headbutting. How is it good for headbutting? It's in the back of your head.
Well, they had those dinosaurs that
Oh yeah, those
had the things. I think.
they're like those rams.
Yeah. Yeah.
But-
Right. They would headbutt.
But he's not a headbutter because it's in the back of his head.
Well, these guys are getting it from looking at their phones. They're not headbutting anything.
Yeah, right. Except the TV screen. What is the horn for? Balance? I don't know.
No, it has to do with your bones growing differently because your head is leaning forward.
Yeah, like a vertebrae. That's
Yeah.
like,
It's like if it were to go up like that, maybe.
yeah,
Something like
what
that.
do they call it? Herniated vertebrae or whatever. Or
Yeah,
maybe just like-
herniated disc is a thing.
I've known my fiance since we were both 13, so the young age thing is not on our mind too much.
Oh, that's her.
Sabrina right
That's
there.
Sabrina. Yeah.
Okay. I've known my fiance since he was so the young age thing. Yeah, that makes sense. If
It's
you've
not
known
on
each
mine.
other that long, it's not like. I mean, you know the person, you know who they are, you're growing together. That's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, I
man.
still wouldn't get married at 23, but
Yeah.
that's not what she asked.
I know a lot of high school sweethearts though that there was a couple that I went to high school with. They got together our 10th grade year in high school. They're still married now. Like it just happens that way. So some people are different.
How do you treat narcissism?
How do you treat narcissism?
How do you treat narcissism? You realize it's not all about you.
Like if you're being narcissistic or somebody else is being narcissistic.
Well, I guess you can't treat anyone else's narcissism.
Yeah, if you're with somebody who's a narcissist, not like a narwhal-cissist.
Heyo.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Like, how do you make
Well-
it so that somebody else realizes the world doesn't revolve around them?
You may not.
Like, if your kid is growing up to be like just a prick, like you really just gotta do whatever it takes to get through to them. I don't know how you do that. What you don't do is ignore it. I don't think that helps, or like hope that it goes away. I
Right.
think you have to be a positive influence, lead by example. I think is a great way.
I mean, narcissism is a mental disorder, so they need to get help. It's not up to you to treat them.
Oh, she says it's
Sally.
her own.
Oh, she said it's her own? Then you need to get treatment. Oh, yeah, I see what she's saying there. My bad. Yeah, then you need to get if you think you're narcissist or you've been diagnosed with narcissist, then you need to get into treatment of some sort.
Well,
Or counseling.
Is it like a
I think it's a personality
condition,
disorder.
or is it just like an egotist? Like you're just egotistical. Like you're just
Well-
always thinking about yourself. Selfish.
So it depends. It depends on if she's using the word like in the clinical way, or she's just using it in the broad term, like when people say Donald Trump's a narcissist. Maybe, but none of us know that because he hasn't been diagnosed to our knowledge.
Right. Yeah, I think you got to try to find, ask yourself that question, and if you're identifying the fact that you feel that way, that's probably a good thing. Like, and you don't want to be that way. Try to remind yourself every day that you have to help people. That's what makes the world go round. It's sick. I feel like this generation is very self-centered, very
Yeah.
self-centered. And you probably don't have a lot of good examples these days about, what it means to really be a part of the community, what it means really to give back. That's a little scary.
She said not weed. No, Sally, don't self-medicate. That's
No.
the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
Weed does not help become, I mean,
It's not going to help any mental disorder. First of all, you self-medicating isn't going to help anything. It's going to make things worse.
Uncle Ray says,
Yeah.
don't do it.
Don't do it. Max is nervous about getting his middle school vaccines. Max, you're in middle school?
Dang.
Wow.
Why are you nervous? Vaccines are there to help you.
Yeah, no, you just get a little shot. You'll be fine. You'll be in and out.
It'll hurt your arm for 2 seconds. and
You
then
won't
you're
even
done.
remember.
Yeah.
Like in 5-10 years, you won't remember. That
Well,
won't be
wait,
a thing
what
that stands
country?
out to you.
What country are you in? Are you like? You ever seen those guys that they have like those weird hole punch like scars from like old school vaccines?
Yeah.
That looks like it hurts. It looks like a cigarette lighter on there, like one of those car lighters.
I don't know.
Ooh,
Maybe
that's
it's
cool.
where he's from. It's horrible. Maybe they like circumcise you at the same time where he's from.
They just get it all done in one fall swoop. Don't we? I was able to make it to this week's live stream. Thanks, John. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, we're chugging right along. If you guys haven't shared these podcasts with people or whatever, please do. It always helps us, and subscribe to the channel and stuff. That really helps. And we're just plugging right along. We're over 50 episodes now. This is
Fuck
pretty
yeah,
cool.
man. A lot of
This is
fun.
pretty cool.
You
Not
wanna-
too bad.
You want to get off here?
Yeah, you might as
All right.
well.
Yeah, we got stuff going on. But guys, love you. We'll see you next week.
Okay. Talk soon.